Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. When a man is falling harder for you every single day, you don't need to guess. You don't need to analyze every little thing he says. Why? Because his actions will scream the truth louder than words ever could. A man who's truly invested doesn't just talk about caring for you. He proves it. He makes time. He shows up and he delivers. He doesn't leave you waiting, wondering, or questioning his commitment. And let's be crystal clear. When he values you, he listens. Not just with his ears, but with his soul. He takes your thoughts seriously, not because he has to, but because he wants to. Your words matter to him. Your opinions influence him. Your presence in his life is not a convenience, it's a necessity. And when a man starts planning his future with you in it, that's not a small thing. That's a declaration. That's a man who's all in. Now, here's the deal. Vulnerability is not easy. Most men are conditioned to keep their emotions locked up, to never show weakness. But when he starts opening up, when he lets you see his fears, his dreams, and his past without hesitation, understand this, you are no longer just a chapter in his life. You're becoming the whole damn book. And a man who's truly in love is going to protect you. He's going to stand in front of you when life throws punches, and he'll fight for you. Not because he has to, but because you matter that much. It's not just about physical protection. It's about making sure you never feel alone in this world. It's about knowing that when life gets tough, he's not running. He's holding the line. And let me tell you the most powerful sign of all, when you inspire him to become more. A man who's falling harder for you doesn't settle. He doesn't get comfortable. He pushes himself to level up because you ignite something in him that makes him want to be better, stronger, greater. That's not just love, that's transformation. So, if you're seeing these things, don't second guess it. A man like that doesn't come along every day. And if you're the woman who brings this out in him, understand your power, because you're irreplaceable. His actions speak louder than words. Let's get one thing straight. When a man is falling harder for you every single day, you won't have to decode his feelings like some unsolvable puzzle. You won't be left analyzing his texts or second-guessing his words. Why? Because his actions will tell you everything you need to know. A man who is genuinely falling for you isn't just talking about love, he's showing it in ways that are undeniable. He's prioritizing you, making time for you, and ensuring that you feel valued, safe, and appreciated. This isn't about grand romantic gestures or occasional sweet words. It's about the consistency of his effort. It's about what he does when no one is watching. It's about whether his words and his actions align. The truth is, people make time for what truly matters to them. If he's busy but still carves out moments for you, that's no accident. If he's exhausted but still checks in on you, don't brush it off. If he's dealing with 100 things but still shows up for you, understand what that means. This is a man who isn't just interested in you, he's invested in you. A man who is falling hard will show it in the little things. The way he remembers details about your day, the way he listens when you speak, the way he notices when something is off, even before you say a word. He won't be making excuses or leaving you wondering where you stand, because that's not what a man in love does. A man who is serious about you isn't going to leave you feeling confused. He's going to give you clarity, not questions. And let's be real, actions require effort. Words are cheap. Anyone can say they care. Anyone can make empty promises. But a man who proves it through his actions is operating on a whole different level. When he's falling harder for you every day, you'll notice that he puts in the work. Not just when things are easy and convenient, but when it actually requires sacrifice. He makes time for you, even when his schedule is packed. He includes you in his world, introducing you to his friends, his family, the things that matter to him. He puts in the effort to make your life easier, whether that means helping you with something stressful, supporting your goals, or just being there when you need him. Then here's the kicker. He does these things without being asked. That's how you know it's real. If a man is constantly making you chase him, constantly making you feel like you're just an option in his life, he's not falling harder for you. But if he's stepping up without you having to demand it, if he's putting in effort without waiting for you to tell him what you need, that's the real deal. Love isn't just about big declarations. It's about the quiet, consistent ways someone shows up for you every single day. It's about whether he makes you feel secure in his presence. A man who is truly falling for you is one who removes your doubts, not adds to them. He's one who makes you feel chosen, not one who makes you question your worth. So, watch what he does. Because in the end, it's not about what he says. It's about what he proves. He values your opinion and future together. When a man is falling harder for you every single day, he's not just present in the moment, he's thinking long term. He's not just enjoying your company, he's envisioning a future with you. And one of the biggest signs of that, he values your opinion. He listens to what you think, considers your perspectives, and actively involves you in his decisions. A man who truly cares about you doesn't just hear you, he listens. There's a massive difference. Hearing is passive, listening is intentional. When he values your opinion, he seeks it out, not just for small things like where to eat or what to watch, but for real decisions that impact his life. If he's consulting you about career choices, business ideas, or personal challenges, that's because your thoughts matter to him. He trusts your judgment, respects your intelligence, and sees you as someone who adds value to his life. This isn't just about casual input. It's about the way he incorporates your thoughts into his world. If he's falling harder for you, you'll notice that he starts using we instead of I. Suddenly, it's not just his dreams, it's your shared future. It's not just his plans, it's about how you fit into them. This shift is powerful because it shows that he's not thinking in temporary terms. He's not just in this for fun or convenience. He's in it for something real. A man who values your opinion is also someone who respects you deeply. Respect isn't just about treating you well when things are going smoothly. It's about how he reacts when you challenge him. Does he dismiss your thoughts, or does he take them seriously? Does he get defensive, or does he actually consider what you're saying? If a man listens to you, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it forces him to rethink something, that's real respect. And let's be clear, valuing your opinion isn't about always agreeing with you. It's about being open to your perspective and considering it before making decisions. It's about him wanting to know what you think, not because he has to, but because he genuinely cares. A man who values you doesn't make decisions that affect both of you without consulting you first. If he's moving to a new city, changing jobs, or making major life choices, your thoughts are part of that equation. Now let's talk about the future. If he's falling harder for you every day, we're going to make sure you know that you're part of his vision. He won't be vague about his intentions. He won't be afraid to talk about what's next. And more importantly, he won't make you feel like you're just a temporary part of his life. If a man avoids conversations about the future, dodges commitment, or keeps things uncertain, that's a red flag. But if he's talking about what's ahead, where you'll live, what kind of life you'll build together, what your shared goals look like, that's a man who is fully invested. And here's the thing, you'll feel it. You won't have to guess if he sees a future with you. You won't have to force conversations about commitment. When a man is truly falling for you, he's going to make it clear that you're not just a moment in his life, you're a priority. So pay attention to how he includes you in his decisions. Pay attention to how he values your voice in his life. Because when a man respects, listens to, and envisions a future with you, that's not just love, that's commitment. Man, his emotions are open and unfiltered when a man is falling harder for you every single day. One of the clearest signs is that he opens up emotionally in ways he may not have with anyone else. Society often teaches men to be strong, to hold back their emotions, to avoid vulnerability at all costs. But when he starts letting his guard down and showing you his true self, raw, unfiltered, and real, it means you hold a very special place in his heart. Let's be real. Most men don't just open up to anyone. Many have spent years, even decades, learning to suppress their emotions, to avoid looking weak, and to handle their struggles alone. But when he's falling for you, that wall starts to crumble. He trusts you enough to be vulnerable, to share his fears, his doubts, and his dreams without the fear of judgment. That's not something he does casually. It's a sign that you mean everything to him. At first, you might notice little things. Him telling you about a tough day at work, mentioning childhood memories, or sharing thoughts he usually keeps to himself. Then, as his feelings deepen, he starts revealing the things he normally hides. His insecurities, his fears, the times he's failed, the things that keep him up at night. This is huge because it means he sees you as someone who won't ridicule or abandon him for showing emotion. And here's the thing, when a man loves you, he won't just share his struggles with you, he'll also share his joy. You'll see his excitement when he talks about something he's passionate about. You'll hear the pure enthusiasm in his voice when he's excited about spending time with you. His emotions aren't guarded anymore because he's letting himself feel fully with you. Here. A man who is emotionally open with you is invested. He's showing you parts of himself that he wouldn't reveal to just anyone. He's trusting you with a side of him that the world doesn't always get to see. And let's talk about how he handles emotions with you. When a man is serious about you, he doesn't just open up himself. He also makes space for your emotions. He doesn't dismiss your feelings. He doesn't tell you that you're overreacting or too sensitive. Instead, he listens. He validates. He cares. He wants to understand what you're feeling because your emotions matter to him. Now, pay attention to how he reacts during conflict. A man who's falling harder for you won't shut down, run away, or refuse to communicate. Instead, he'll lean in. He'll want to work through problems instead of sweeping them under the rug. He'll try to understand where you're coming from instead of just trying to win the argument. That's because he's emotionally invested. He's not just in this for fun. He's in this for something real. And let me be clear, emotional openness is not weakness. It takes strength to be vulnerable. It takes courage to say, this is who I really am. So if your man is opening up to you, if he's sharing his deepest thoughts, his struggles, his real self, don't take it lightly. That means you are different from anyone else he's known. That means he trusts you. He values you. And most importantly, he's falling for you deeper every single day. So appreciate it, reciprocate it. Because when a man lets you into his heart like that, he's not just in love. He's all in. He defends and protects you fiercely when a man is falling harder for you every single day. He doesn't just tell you he loves you. He shows it through his actions. And one of the most undeniable ways he does this is by protecting you. This isn't just about physical protection. It's about emotional, mental, and social protection too. A man who is truly in love will make sure you feel safe, valued, and defended in every area of your life. Let's get one thing straight. Protection isn't just about fighting off danger. It's not just about stepping between you and a physical threat. Sure, a man in love will never let harm come your way if he can prevent it. But true protection goes deeper than that. A man who loves you protects your peace, your happiness, and your dignity. He stands up for you, whether you're in the room or not. He defends you when someone disrespects you. He makes sure you never feel like you're facing life's challenges alone. A man who's falling harder for you every day will not tolerate anyone treating you poorly. If someone speaks down to you, disrespects you, or tries to hurt you in any way, you won't have to wonder where he stands. He'll make it clear that you are not to be messed with. This doesn't mean he's aggressive or reckless, but it does mean he values you enough to take a stand. If a so-called friend is belittling you, if a coworker is treating you unfairly, if a stranger is being rude, he will step up and make sure you know that you are not alone. And let's talk about emotional protection, because this is just as important as physical protection. A man who truly loves you won't let you feel abandoned or unheard. He won't play mind games or manipulate your emotions. It will be your rock, someone you can turn to when you're feeling vulnerable. When life gets tough, he won't run. He'll hold the line. When you're upset, he won't dismiss your feelings. He'll listen and support you. That's what real protection looks like. Now, pay attention to how he protects your relationship. A man who is falling harder for you doesn't just defend you from external problems. He makes sure nothing threatens the bond you share. He doesn't entertain people who try to create drama. He doesn't allow outside influences to shake what you have together. He is loyal, committed, and consistent. If someone tries to disrespect your relationship, whether it's an ex trying to reconnect, a toxic friend trying to stir the pot, or even just negativity creeping in, he shuts it down. He makes it clear that you're his priority. And let's be clear, this kind of protection isn't about control. A man who truly loves you doesn't possess you. He honors you. He doesn't try to shield you because he thinks you're weak. He protects you because he knows your worth. His strength is not about overpowering you, but about supporting you, making sure you always feel safe and valued. One of the most beautiful things about a man who is falling deeply for you is that he makes you feel like you can take on the world because you know he has your back. You never have to second guess whether he's on your side. His actions prove it every single day. So if your man defends your name, protects your heart, and stands beside you through everything, understand what that means. That's not just love. That's devotion. And a man who does that, he's not just falling for you. He's already all in. His growth is inspired by you when a man is falling harder for you every single day. One of the most powerful signs is that he doesn't just stay the same. He actively works to become better. Not because you demand it, not because you pressure him, but because you inspire him to grow. A man who is truly in love looks at you and sees someone worth becoming better for. You bring something into his life that challenges him in all the right ways. You push him to dream bigger, to work harder, to refine himself, and to become the best version of himself. This is not about changing who he is. It's about bringing out the greatness already inside him. Now, let's be clear. Real growth is not just about superficial things like hitting the gym more, dressing better, though those things might happen too. It's about deep, meaningful transformation. When a man is inspired by you, he starts to develop new habits, new mindsets, and new ways of thinking. He starts setting higher standards for himself in his career, his ambitions, his character, and the way he treats the people around him. He starts handling challenges differently. Maybe he used to avoid confrontation, but now he faces problems head on because he knows that's what a strong partner does. Maybe he used to be careless with his time and energy, but now he's focused and driven because he wants to build something meaningful with you. Maybe he used to doubt himself, but now he believes in his potential because you believe in him. A man who is falling deeper in love with you isn't just staying in his comfort zone. He's expanding his limits. He wants to succeed, not just for himself, but for both of you. He wants to create a future that's worthy of you. A future where he can stand beside you as an equal, as a leader, as a man worthy of your love. And let's talk about emotional growth. When a man is truly inspired by you, he becomes more in tune with his emotions. He starts communicating better. He becomes more patient, more understanding, and more emotionally intelligent. He starts breaking down the emotional walls he once built because he knows that real connection requires openness. But here's something important. You don't have to force this growth. You don't have to lecture him, nag him, or demand change. True inspiration is effortless. He sees the way you live, the way you carry yourself, the way you expect more from life, and he naturally wants to rise to that level. You become his standard of excellence, his motivation to step into his full potential. And the most powerful part, when a man grows because of you, he stays. Don't walk away from someone who has helped them transform in a way they never thought possible. When you inspire him to be greater, you become irreplaceable. If you notice that your man is becoming more focused, more disciplined, more driven, more emotionally mature, pay attention. That's not a coincidence. That's the effect of real love. That's the sign of a man who's not just falling for you. He's becoming better because of you. And that's a love worth keeping. Closing the speech with power, let me tell you something. When a man is falling harder for you every single day, you will know it. You won't have to wonder. You won't have to second guess. His actions will speak louder than any words ever could. A man who's truly in love values your opinion and sees a future with you. He lets down his guard and opens his heart to you. He stands beside you, protecting you fiercely in every way. He refuses to stay stagnant because your presence inspires him to grow into the man he's meant to be. Love isn't just about what someone says, it's about what they do. If he's stepping up, if he's proving himself, if he's making you feel cherished and secure, then you're not just a part of his life, you're becoming his greatest priority. So don't settle for half measures. Don't settle for maybes. If a man truly loves you, he will make it unmistakably clear. And when you find that kind of love, the kind that builds you up, strengthens you, and makes both of you better, hold on to it. Because that's not just romance. That's commitment. That's devotion. That's forever.